Do you have an app on Jotform? Well, let me show you how to create an interactive list element here on Jotform app. So follow me to my desktop right now. Hey, what's up everyone? This is Jotform and I'm going to show you how to create a list with an interactive element. That way your application is going to look much better and it's going to be more interactive. So let's get started. We are currently located in the main workspace and we are going to jump into the application where we want to add this list. So I'm going to use this app right here and I'm going to go into the editing section of this particular app. Now in this case, it's going to open up the app builder and we have several pages available here. In this case, I'm going to add a page for this particular purpose, and then I'm going to add the list element. So let's go into add elements, and I'm going to drag and drop the list element inside of this brand new page that I've created. So in this case, I'm going to name it list just so I can locate it, but you would name this something else that is more accordingly. In this case, we have 4 titles right here and 4 descriptions for this purpose. Now, the beauty about this is that it's tied to a Jotform table, which makes things super cool. Now, let me show you. Let me go ahead and select this element. And on the right, we have the option to select edit list, properties, and delete. First, let's go ahead and jump into edit list. Now, in this case, this is going to open up like a miniature Jotform table where we can edit this list right here. So in this case, we have a brand new table. Let me go ahead and name this really quickly. I'm going to rename this flowers, just to give you an example. And we have title, description, image, and we can add more columns and more rows. This is pretty cool. For example, if you are displaying a list of places where someone needs to visit, like a top 5 destinies, then just go ahead and set the title here. For example, we can say Italy, Hong Kong, and the third one, I'm just going to say, for example, France, okay? Then I can set the description for each one of these and the image for each one of these too. So for example, for Italy, I can go ahead and add an image really quickly here. And in this case, I'm just going to add this test image to give you an idea how this works. I'm going to remove the secondary image that's inside of this particular row, just to give you an idea, right? Now, there's an option to select columns that you want to display. Why is this important? Because if you are using a table from Jotform that has several columns, well, you can select which columns you want to display in the list of your app. So in this case, we want to keep it simple, title, description, and the image. If you need to add a new column, just go ahead and do so right here. If you need to download this, just go ahead and click on download. Okay, so we're good to go. We just updated 3 destinations with testing purposes, and that now updated right here. Now let's go ahead and display this. So let's go into our app demo over here in the preview. Let's go ahead and select that page right here. So I'm going to select list, and here we go. We got a list of all the elements that we've added right here. So we got Italy, Hong Kong, France, etc. And you can make this interactive if you want. So let me show you how to do that. So in the gear icon, we're going to select properties and we're going to get the properties for this particular list element. So first off, we got the connected table. If you want to connect a different table, just go ahead and change right here. You have the option to select the title, the description, and the image from the variables inside of the table. You can also change the item rows to show. So in this case, since this is a top 5, just to give you an idea, I set the number to 5 right here. Then I can change the layout. Maybe that layout doesn't fit with my style. Maybe I want to change this. Maybe card would be the best way for you. Well, you can display it this way. Now you would see a list of the elements that you've added here, but in card style. Now I can do this square. I can change circle. So for example, if this was, for example, a testimonial, well, you can add the image of the person and have the testimonial on the bottom and change it to circle instead of square. Then you have the option for sizing. Right now it's medium. I can change it to small. Here we go. And I can change it to large. So depending on my needs, I can go ahead and set it up right here. So in this case, medium is fine for me. There's not too many elements to display. Then I have the actions on the right. Now, when a user clicks list items, what is going to happen? So in this case, nothing with none, or I can open a dynamic page. So for example, a dynamic page just created one for me for Italy. Now, since I have an image added for Italy, it created for me. If I had images for each one of these, it'll create a page for me. And if they click on that, it's going to jump to that page. So let's first test this out, right? So remember, open dynamic page. You can set detail page. So it's a dynamic page in this case, or a different page. Click indicator. So I can set an icon or button. See how these update? You can see here in the list, now they have the button. If I want to set an icon, you can see here. If I want to set it to none, then we're good to go. But if I select icon, I have options available here for different purposes. Okay. Now let's go ahead and test this out. We are currently located in the app. We're going to go into the menu. We're going to go into the list menu, and I'm going to click on Italy. And that takes me to the Italy page here on the app. And it'll display the rest of the information right here, which is pretty useful depending on your use case. Okay, let's go back into properties. For the actions, we just showed you the open dynamic page. There's also the open edit screen. This changes things. So for example, you can edit screen type, overlay, full page. Here we go. In this case, I'm going to do overlay. Click indicator, just like I showed you before. And let's go ahead and test this out. So again, we're going to test this out. We're going to go into the list page. I'm going to select it. And on the bottom, we are going to get the option to edit this particular element. So I can now change the title, description, and change the image by uploading one right here, which is useful depending on your use case. Again, let's go back into properties, actions, and now we're going to see visit a URL, which is pretty much straightforward. You can set the link right here to take them to a specific URL. So if you want to take them to, for example, the top 20 destinations to travel instead of just viewing the 5, go ahead and click right here and you can take them to that link. So that's a way that you can use this. Then we have send an email. Again, you can send an email to the email destination that you set up right here. You also have the option to make a call and set the phone number right here. So several available options here for the list item. Then we have conditions. Conditions can be set, for example, visible to everyone or visible to selected roles only. Now, if this is a team app, that means that you have different roles, team members using the application, and you can set to which roles will have access to this. So imagine I have 5 type of roles and I only want the admins and users to view this, but I don't want accounting, sales, inventory, or clients to view this page. So you can set it up this way by only making it visible to the ones that you select, or maybe only admins. So it's up to you if you want to set that up, or visible to everyone. So that is how you're going to create an interactive list element here on Jotform, which is going to take your app to the next level. Please let me know here in the comments what you think about the options available for the list item right here in Jotform and what you would like to see in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified when new videos come out. And that's a wrap.